Hey everyone, it's Laura here from makingcards.com, and it's time for another Saturday Stamp Day carding video. In today's video, I'm going to be using a lot of stamps from different brands, but before I'm going to start explaining the card I did, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the stamp set that I will be using from Wow Embossing Powder. This stamp set is called Flights of Fancy, and I shared this one in a picture on Instagram. I had a picture on Instagram showing some stamp sets from Wow Embossing Powder, and you were all very curious to hear my thoughts on these stamps. So I've been playing around with this stamp, and then I also tried out the other stamps shown in my Instagram picture, and I really like them. They stamp beautifully. Because these are photopolymer stamps and they are made in the UK, so they're really great quality and I definitely recommend them. So I'm using that stamp set, and then I'm also going to use a Paper Smooches stamp set. The stamp set is called Calico, but first I'm going to stamp some of the leaves from the Flights of Fancy stamp set from Wow Embossing Powder, and I am using my Misty tool for that. So I'm positioning those leaves, and then I'm going to ink up the stamps using Willow ink from Simon Says Stamp. This is just a beautiful green color. And then I'm going to lift up the Misty tool, and then you can see that I stamped those leaves. Next, I'm going to ink up a flower from the Calico stamp set from Paper Smooches using lemon yellow ink from Hero Arts. Next, I'm going to stamp another flower using the same stamp set, but this time I am using soft cantaloupe ink from Hero Arts. I just really like this color a lot. It's just very soft and I really love the orange touch to it. So I'm also going to use cotton candy ink from Simon Says Stamp. This is a beautiful light pink color and I use it a lot lately. I wanted the leaves just to stand out a little bit more. So after I cleaned my stamp, I am going to ink the stamp again using Versamark ink, and then I'm just going to stamp over that green leaf. Next, I am going to use Coconut Ice embossing powder from Wow to give it an extra sparkle. You can't really see the sparkle on camera, but it looks really pretty in real life. The sparkle it's like a white sparkle, to be honest, but it's just super pretty. And I really love the name Coconut Ice because it definitely reminds me of ice cream for some reason. I'm creating another sequin shaker today, and this time I am using circle dies from W+9. So after I die cut the circle, I'm going to prep my card. This is an A2 card that I cut out of some wood grain cardstock. Ellen Hudson sells this cardstock. Simon Says Stamp sells it as well. But you could definitely create your own wood grain cardstock by using an embossing folder. Since I'm creating a sequin shaker card, I am using some plastic sheets from Lifestyle Crafts, and I adhere that behind the flower piece using my ATG. And then I am using a piece of fun foam, and I'm just going to cut a circle out using my scissors. You could also die cut the circle, but nobody will ever see that it was just hand cut. Then I'm going to adhere the piece of flower paper onto that fun foam. I am using my ATG today to create my sequin shaker, but you could also use multimedia mats. I really like that for creating sequin shaker cards as well. Next, I am filling up my sequin shaker using sequins from the Ton. I am using their mixes, and then I'm also just using some of the individual colors. Then I'm going to close my sequin shaker. I also used my ATG from Scotch to do that. And since this adhesive doesn't need to dry, you can start shaking your shaker card immediately. So that's just a really fun thing about the ATG. Then I'm going to stamp this beautiful bird from the Jungle Fever stamp set from Create a Smile onto some white ultra heavyweight cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. Since I will be doing some Copic coloring, I am using my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Then I'm going to do the actual Copic coloring, and I am using my two favorite pink Copics for that. I'm using RV0000 and RV11. I just really love this combination together, and I already use these two markers a lot, and I actually will be using them another time in an upcoming video. So just can't help myself. I really love these two colors together, and they also blend really nicely, so I just really like that about these two markers. And then for the other details of this bird, I'm going to use a Y13 marker and a Y19 Copic marker. So as you can see, I always do very simple Copic coloring. I mostly use two colors, so one light color and then the darkest color to add some shading. It took me a while to figure out how I would place a sentiment on this card, but then I decided to use the Summer Greetings die cut set from Simon Says Stamp, and I die cut that thanks greeting out of some gold glitter paper. So I'm just trying to poke out my die cut over there, and then I am adhering that gold glitter piece onto some of that same white wood grain cardstock using Tombow Mono adhesive. So I'm placing that over there onto the cardstock, and then I'm just going to cut that out using my scissors so I can adhere that onto the card using some foam adhesive. So I'm going to position that bird and the sentiment piece onto my card. I used some foam squares for that, and then I also like to use my tweezers just to position that because these pieces are just so small and I can just do that better when I'm using my tweezers. So that finishes up the card for this week's Saturday STEM Day video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back on Monday. Bye bye!